One of our favorite spots. Only a few hours drive from where we live. A rugged, unspoiled coastline. And the beautiful Jerusalem Creek. It's not always perfect. But most days it is. Join us as we explore Black Rock in Bundjalung National Park. The campground is in northern New South Wales and is around 250 kilometres from Brisbane. It is mostly highway, with the last 22 kilometres on mainly dirt roads. The campground is only a couple of hours drive from where we live. To make the most of our time away, we leave in the evening after work. We do quite a lot of driving at night, so we need a good set of lights. We were given a set of lights to test by a company called Beam. We were very impressed by them. It certainly made driving on the dark dirt roads and finding our campsite much easier. Ian was up early the next morning. I was still asleep, so he took the cameras and the drone and went for a walk down to the beach and then to the creek. The campground had only just opened up after the floods that had devastated large parts of northern New South Wales. By the time he got back, I was awake and had coffee waiting. Jerusalem Creek is our favourite part of the national park. From the campground to the sea is around a 5-kilometre paddle. We had heard the creek was now open to the sea and had become tidal. We came to a sand island and stopped to have a walk around and do some photos. The contrast between the sand and the water made for some fantastic photos. We were paddling against the tide and the wind. It was pretty hard going, but we made it to the sea. Ian took the drone up, but it wasn't behaving itself. We were able to see another part of the creek though. We thought it would be good to explore another day. We had dragged the canoe up onto the sand so it didn't get washed away with the tide. We went for a walk to have a look for somewhere to do some more photos. We found a piece of driftwood. The roots and trunk were perfect for some great photos. We had to share the beach with these little terns. We spent about an hour there, just playing around with different poses and camera angles. We thought we would take advantage of the tide coming in and head back to camp. It certainly made paddling a little easier. Once we got a little further down, I went into the water to wash off some of the sand from the beach chute. People often ask why we do the photos. The answer is simply, it makes us happy. The creek is incredibly peaceful. The banks are lined with grasses and native tea trees. The natural tannins from the trees are what gives the water that dark colour. Paddling along listening to the bird calls makes it feel like you're a million miles away from civilization. Once you get closer to the campground, you can see where the pontoon was washed away by the floods. This time I went down to the beach with Ian at sunrise. It was cloudy and the sky was very dramatic. We got some excellent photos. The tide was coming in, with the odd wave coming right up to the rocks. We didn't realise until later how close we came to losing the new Insta360. Luckily, it didn't fall over. We were there for about an hour. As we left, the sun came out. We headed back to the truck for some breakfast. I had sand everywhere, so I went into the truck for a much needed shower. Ian got set up for the day and breakfast started. We use gas for cooking outside. The little toaster we use is not great. The toast burns if you're not fast enough. Probably time for a new one. There's nothing like bacon and eggs for breakfast after a photo workout. Okay. Ian is the expert on cooking breakfast. So I do the climbing in and out the truck. It's a great leg workout. This is a very rough and rugged part of the coastline. The beach comes and goes with the tide. After breakfast we went for a walk on the beach to try out the new microphone and play around with the Insta360. The tide was quite high, which made it a bit tricky in places.
Are you going to be able to get back? We'll get back, don't worry.
We soon got to a more open section of the beach. We went in for a cool-off. We left our swimmers at camp, so there's no footage. We dried off in the sun and then started making our way back. Ian climbed up onto a rock to get some more wave footage. After a while I joined him, and for a minute or so we had our own little island off the coast of Australia.
Wow. Huh? I never even saw that. Oh my God.
Waves coming, be careful.
I would have just stood on him.
It was a puffer fish. When puffed up, their spines are quite toxic.
Good like false teeth.
Yeah.
to go down or are you going to go up?
Probably up and around.
Yeah, up and around, I think.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky walking along the rocks, but we made it safely.
You're brave. Switch it off.
We've just got back from our walk on the beach. We are staying in a place called Black Rock. Now you would have seen in the footage that the rocks in the area are really black. So this is what happens.
Blackfoot.
So that's why I'm sitting on the step currently, just about to clean my feet before I go into the truck.
We spent the early evening on the beach taking photos. Then watched the sun go down. It's raining again, so we planned on spending the day on the creek, just going and doing photographs, and we've packed lunch and everything, and of course it rained. So we got a bit of a break in the rain and we decided we were going to quickly go, but now it's raining again, so we're going anyway. Rain is coming down harder than it was a little while ago. So we'll see. So as you can see, it's quite a gloomy day. Expecting to get fairly wet. It's going to be better than just spending a day just holed up in the Unimog reading books. So we're just having to be really careful because there's a lot of submerged trees around here and it's pretty dark and gloomy, so we can't see anything. So we're just going slowly so we don't puncture the boat. Have a look at this tree at the angle it's at. Look at these trees, it looks like the one has been down for a while, but the one that's sitting on top of it is a recent fall, because you can still see there's some green leaves. Ian's doing all the hard work.
As usual.
As usual. So it's absolutely bucketing down. Or it's sheeting down. The boats are starting to get a fair bit of water in it. Water's going inside and dripping down my back.
My waterproof hat on, I'm good.
And if you can see how wet and bedraggled I look, but it's all good. We're going to try and get all the water out. You can see it all there, so Ian's going to lift the boat a bit. He's going to open up the plug. You can see all the water draining out. Yeah. So Ian is going to try and pull the boat. It was pointless trying to paddle. We were just standing still. We made our way towards another part of the creek we hadn't been down before. And it's raining again. Ian pulled it quite away, but it eventually got deep enough to paddle. We feel like the boat explodes at the moment. So we're just paddling along really gently so we hopefully don't hit something sharp that's submerged. The boat is pretty tough, but always better to be careful. So there we go. You can see there the submerged trees I'm talking about. Still raining. Well, I'd say it's probably not the end, but it's as far as we're willing to go. We bought the canoe around 10 years ago. It packs down pretty small, so it's easy to carry in any of our vehicles. It's quite long and not as maneuverable as smaller ones, but it fits all our gear, so works well for us. It has a flat bottom, so it's very stable, even when one of us is standing up. It is designed to fit an outboard. We had a petrol one but found we didn't use it. Perhaps at some stage we'll get an electric one, but at the moment we enjoy the exercise. By the time we got back to the beach, the sun had come out, so we could get out of our wet clothes and dry out a little. I made us some lunch. Then while Ian flew the drone, I lay in the sun to warm up. It was so lovely I fell asleep. You can see in the footage where we stopped, but the creek goes a lot further up. That was a close call. Luckily, this drone has the collision avoidance feature. To wait until the water level was a little higher before going back, so scouted around for some more interesting photo props. This weathered tree stump was perfect. After the shoot, we packed up and headed back towards camp. We made our way towards the branch of the creek that we had seen in the drone footage. It was quite narrow and the tree branches were very low and overhanging. Felt like we were deep in a jungle. So we're on our way back to camp. The sun came out for a bit. The wind has picked up. But the lucky thing for us, I think for the first time ever, the wind is behind us and we've got the tide in our favour, so we're going along at a nice little clip. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a sail out of the sarong to see if I can get us going quicker.
I would just need some wind.
Are we moving?
We're moving. Not much though.
No.
Alright.
With my dead arms.
Not with your dead arms.
Right. Just pulled over onto the sandbank to do a couple of photos against these beautiful gnarly trees.
We forgot to tie up the boat. Luckily, it didn't go far. The diversity of the landscape gives us fantastic opportunities for photos. It's never boring.
We made it. Both a little bit puffed. We were doing what, 5 kilometers an hour, did you say, Ian? Which might not seem fast, but in this boat that's motoring. So that's our launching log. That sort of slightly bottom of boat shaped log, would you call it? Thing. Hopefully it's drop proof.
It's drop.
Well, Well, that didn't work. Back to ground level filming. These wheels are really good. Once strapped on, they are quite stable. It makes handling the boat much easier. With all our gear in, it weighs anything between 40 and 50 kilograms, so not fun if you have to carry it any distance. By now you would have noticed the new stripes on the truck. We just thought it was time for a change. We're cooking inside tonight because it's cold and wet outside and we just didn't feel like it. When we cook inside, we would usually use our diesel stove. However, on the last trip it packed up. So we have decided that we are going to try this induction plate and see how it goes. So that's 1400 watts. And that's almost instantly hot. Put it on a lower, on 900. So we were thinking about the benefits of induction over diesel. One of the big things for us is that the diesel stove takes quite a while to heat up, and then once you finish cooking it takes quite a while to cool back down again. So we could never just cook something quickly on the run, like if we wanted to cook breakfast on a cold morning, we couldn't do it if we were going to be traveling anytime soon because we'd have to wait for it to cool down. So the benefit with the induction plate is it's super fast to heat up and it cools down really quickly. It also boils water really fast in comparison to a kettle. So that's 1200 watts. No, it's stripped out. Stripped out proper this time. 1200 was too high. 900 watts was about best for it. Right.
Okay, so
Stripped out the circuit breaker. So take two.
the 900 was fine.
Yep, so we're back to 900 watts.
Yep. Let's use 10% of the battery.
Okay.
Alright.
The next morning it was still raining. It was our last day, so we decided to leave early and take the long way home along the coast road. Thanks for watching. It's great to be back. We are doing a series of shorter trips in the Mog, so more videos will follow soon.